What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the In Our House podcast. Today is episode 82. Before we get into today's special guest, make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to like for your weeks full of good luck. But today's special guest is, honestly, I'm super excited because he was our wedding videographer / photographer. And he also does other weddings. So if you guys are looking for something, we'll leave his stuff down in the description. But today's guest is Dustin. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Glad to be here.
It's nice to have you.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen each other since the wedding.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's been like a year.
Dude, almost next month is a year.
Yeah.
We're going to Florida to celebrate our year.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we didn't really get to do anything for our honeymoon because we had one of our cars break down, so we had to pay for that.
I got
So
you.
we had to cancel our whole honeymoon.
Yeah.
So we're going to our original plan last year for the honeymoon was to go to Florida. So now a year later, I'm going to Florida.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
Heck yeah. No kids?
No kids, not yet.
Yeah.
No, I think we get our fix with Pablo's little girl.
Yeah. I'm like right across, like on the building that's attached here.
Oh, gotcha.
And I think this week so far, and even last week, it's been every day they've seen her. So if they do have any kind of baby fever, they just go over there, see her for a little bit, and then it gets taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're able to give her back.
Should we tell them about what happened before?
Yeah, let's bring that up. You want to tell them?
Yeah, sure. So Jose texted the wrong address twice.
Oh,
And
shit.
Right apartment number, wrong address. So you have to like buzz in at the front door. And it didn't sound like Jose, but I was like, whatever. He's like, who is it? I was like, Dustin. He just buzzed me in. So I walked up, knocked on his door in his apartment, and he just let me in. So I'm just standing here with this guy. I don't know who he is. I assume he's Jose's friend, but I've never seen him before. So I'm just standing in his house. He's just looking at me. He's like, so who are you here for? I'm like, Jose? He's like, oh, no, you got the wrong place. I was like, for the name of this guy.
You're like, but you let me in.
Yeah, I'm like, it was so nonchalant. Like,
You were just standing in his apartment. Oh, I'm so sorry, dude.
That's good. That's funny.
Shit. Well, do you want to give them, the viewers, a little introduction about yourself, like what you do and all of that?
So I'm a photographer, videographer, like you said. Mainly weddings now. It's my primary income. Originally I went, how I first got into videography, because I got into videography before I did photography.
Okay.
Oh,
But, 3 or 4 years ago, I went to a snowcross race, which is like snowmobile racing in New York with my cousin.
Shit.
And I've had a computer since I was 12, so like I've known Photoshop and that kind of stuff. I've never like shot anything. So I just had an iPhone 10 and I was just there for fun, but I shot a video just for fun and edited it and just gave it to one of the racers for free, and he ended up hiring me. And then
like on the spot,
yeah,
basically? Nice.
And then so I got a camera, and then I got a better camera, and then I got into pro off-road UTV racing with my cousin.
Oh, shit.
And I picked up like 3-4 racers throughout that year. And then so like my whole family, like how I've been raised, like how a lot of people have been raised, is like 9 to 5, factory or military or college, whatever. And so like I've done manual labor my whole life.
Yeah.
And then I got into sales for a little bit, which was crazy because I was super shy up to that point, but I just like threw myself in there.
Yeah.
But so where was I going with that? You can edit that out.
No, all this.
So then, so I worked at a Chevy dealership for like 5 years. And then, so it was like a scary thing to think about, because once you find, like, I realized it's my passion, it's fun, and, it doesn't seem like work as long as you're inspired by it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, I want to do this full time, and like the money was great too. So, because it's basically like the off-road racing is like a huge community, like just people who work all day long for like 4 days in a row, and then they just basically party at night and then wake up like 4 hours later and do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
But so I decided I was going to quit my day job, and which was really scary. I was full time for 3 months. It was great. I was living life. COVID, boom.
Oh, damn.
Cancel the whole year. Yep. So I got just a little taste, and and then I had to go back to a day job, which sucked.
Oh, I didn't know that when you made the decision to like fully go into videography and photography.
Yeah,
that was like around COVID time. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't even do photography back then. Just videography.
Just straight videography.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have about a year and a half more videography than I had photography.
Okay.
But yeah, so that sucked. I burnt through like $10,000 in savings just trying to wait it out.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to go back to a day job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who does?
I was like, I'll make something happen, you know.
Yeah,
But there just wasn't a whole lot of projects that you could do. Even real estate stuff was hard to like get into, especially because the market was high too.
Right.
So it's like they don't need pictures, you know.
Yeah,
like the house sells before it even gets put on there. So I struggled through that. Went to a different dealership because my spot was taken at the one I worked at forever. And ended up shooting one of my best friend's wedding as a wedding gift. And I was actually in the wedding.
Oh, okay.
So I every time I was needed, I would just tripod. So I would just like literally like when I was up there as one of the groomsmen, I just put a tripod out there.
Okay.
Nice.
And then just hurried up before people went down the aisle and came back and got it.
Yeah.
But I posted that, and it wasn't even that great of a video, honestly. Like, just because I had no clue. Like, it's like I knew videography, but like weddings every niche is different.
Right.
But it was like it's hard to be organized if you've never done it before. Know like what to do, how to direct it, you know, how to get the candid shots, and you know. So, but I ended up booking 3 weddings from that, and then I just kept. It took me about 8 months, and I turned it back into a full-time thing. So,
nice.
yeah, I was working like 60 hours a week in my full-time job. Literally, lunch breaks, editing what I could, go home. I quit working out just because I had no time. Like if I wanted to, because I was super ambitious about it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm ready to get out of here. Like I'm tired of working a day job again.
Yeah.
So it was a really stressful year, but I loved it. I loved the whole journey. Like especially looking back on it, I'm like. It's crazy to look back on and be like, man, I was like slammed.
Yeah, but in the moment, did you feel slammed or did you feel?
Oh,
like
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I had no hesitation with it. You know what I mean? Like it didn't slow me down. I wasn't like, oh, I wish I had time for. Right. You know, I was just like.
If anything, you were pumped that you had all the work to do.
Yeah. Any chance I got, I was editing or like I basically worked 7 days a week because.
Right.
I'd work every other Saturday. I was working like 60 hours a week, and then. Any free time I had, like I'd have Netflix on, but it was just background. Like I don't think I watched a single TV show for like 8 months.
That's a real grind right there, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, I'm glad where I'm at now. But the hardest thing I think for me is like I was on such a high when I quit my job again and realized like because I had the numbers now. Before I was winging it. Like this time was, it wasn't as much of a leap because I'd already been there once, and unless COVID or something happened again, I knew I could make work happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I had the numbers. I was like, okay, I know what my income's going to be for the most part. So, and that's just what I have now, you know. So when I quit, I was like, oh, this is awesome. For about a month, and then
after that month?
it's like so. One thing about having so much freedom and doing what you love. Is like, you have to. I was like, this is my dream. Like I made it. Right. So why do I feel like crap now? And it's because like, being off of a schedule and like having to be, part of it is mental, part of it is just like habits, but having to be alone with your own thoughts so much, all the time. You know, which I've always been pretty proactive and aware of, like working on yourself, that kind of thing.
Right.
But when you're sitting there all day long by yourself, that's the other thing too, is you're not around people.
Yeah.
When you work from home and other than when you're shooting, you know, you're just sitting there editing by yourself all day long.
Right. And even when you're shooting, you're not really interacting all too much. You probably just focus on shooting.
It's more of a character, you know, which I do connect with my clients a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he knows that.
Yeah.
But,
I was there. What I remember the most about that day, well, one of the things I remember a lot is when we did that photo for the Dragon Ball Z photo.
Yeah,
that you took of us.
Yeah,
that was dope.
That was cool. Yeah. I mean, I've had heart to hearts with clients. I've literally cried with one of the groomsmen before because he lost his dad and like I was relating with him, that kind of stuff. But the biggest part about this whole thing that's like been the most challenging is you have to be so strict on yourself because no one puts a schedule in front of you anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, if you think about it, like you have all the time in the world, but then again, like the pressure, like of, especially, which I'm blessed with, like a lot of my clients are really good. Like they're genuine people, like they understand, they give me leniency. But when you don't keep up, it's like you can't catch up.
Right.
And people just, so another thing is like, so I don't know if you know, but so my mom died last October, right in the middle. So last year was the craziest year I've ever had in my entire life. And I've been through a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But so I overbooked last year, and I thought I'd be able to manage it, which I probably would have been if, that didn't happen and I wasn't going through it like mentally and emotionally.
Right.
But so between September and October alone, I had 23 weddings. So like pretty much almost 3 weddings a weekend.
Yeah.
But most weekends at least 2 weddings.
Yeah.
So she died right in the middle of that, and I thought that like I'd bounce back from it. Like I've been through stuff similar, and I usually fire back up, and I just lost like all passion. Like I love what I do, like, and like he knows that, but I had so much cool content, like just sitting there, and I'd pick up my computer and I'm just like nothing.
Like, I don't want to do this.
Like I didn't work out. I didn't, I wasn't happy, and so then on top of that, and on top of like being so far behind, and all of my clients, like some of them understood, but a lot of them, what it's made me realize about being in business for yourself is like you're just a transaction. Like that's all you are. And I'm not being pessimistic when I say that. It's just I gave myself the wrong expectations, because I connect with these people and I would be like, oh, they'll understand,
Right. Yeah. Like
but
you said, some didn't and some did. Yeah.
Because it's also it's an inspirational job fueled by passion. So it's like if I have none, I can't do it.
Yeah, because the quality of is not going to be.
Yeah, it's just going to be a video that I put together. It's not going to be my soul into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Same thing with like if I have a couple that's not a loving couple, like they're together, but they're not. You can tell the ones that are really in love, and that's when it doesn't feel like work. Like if and it's different from pictures and video too. So like if the bride's walking down the aisle and the groom, is just straight faced, I can make a picture look good. I'll get at least one shot where he's half smiling and I can just make it look like that's when she's walking down the aisle.
Oh.
But video, you can't do that.
I don't remember.
You were crying, bro.
I do not remember. Well, I remember it, but like
he was tearing up. He was tearing up, dude.
Yeah.
I respect that. Look, I want the groom to cry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, one thing I do is like I have heart to hearts with guys. I'm like, dude, you can show your emotions. You know what I mean? Like, that's the most respectful guy to me that can actually talk about their emotions and not try to be too alpha.
I agree.
But yeah, if it's a video and the bride's walking down the aisle and the guy's just straight face, I can't. What do you want me? They get like I've had people get mad at me. I'm like, that's what you look like.
They're like, why'd you make me look that way?
You think I made you look a different way?
Yeah. At least like give a little smile or something. Yeah.
But the ones that are actually in love and you can like tell, it's like crack for me.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So it's also based on that. If I have clients that have mistreated me or aren't madly in love, then it's just a video.
Right. Then it becomes that transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I used to, so one thing I did that I really screwed up on when I first got into this, because I was so gung-ho and so passionate about it, is I would give people, and my photographer friends like would tell me over and over and over again, and I finally got better at it, but I would I would give people these deadlines of like 2-3 days. I honestly don't know how I was doing it. I was, while working 60 hours a week, I was telling them 2-3 days, and I'd sometimes have a video done the next day.
For like 2-3 days for their whole
wedding.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I would come home and at like 11 o'clock at night, upload, which takes like half hour, and then edit till 4 in the morning, get like 4 hours sleep, wake up, sit in one spot all day, DoorDash 3 times a day or 4 times a day.
Yeah.
Never moved. The only time I moved is when I went to my door to get my DoorDash, and I would just sit there because like it's just I'm fueling off my inspiration, you know. And if I give them a deadline like that, like I'm gonna hit it.
Right.
But so then I try to be more healthy about it because it just kills you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not healthy for you at all.
You're just sitting there for like 12, 13 hours a day.
Yeah, it's like it was my life for a while, you know.
Yeah.
And I started to realize like I need to give myself, you know, comfort and be healthy for myself and not just be good in business.
Yeah.
Right.
So you talked about going from your 9 to 5 to like to working for yourself. How did you find that balance of like knowing when work stops and you have your own life? And yeah, how did you find the balance from work and like your own personal life? Because I know at the beginning it was probably like a blur. It was all just probably work. But how did you end up finding that balance?
So for me, it's a really loaded question, honestly, because I've had lots of experimentation with that. Because it's hard for me to even just relax for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But I learned over time. I learned how to give myself grace, and you know, I can't really. Maybe it'll work for some people, but for me, I can't just be like, okay, these hours I'm working, because I try to fuel off passion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I stick to something as long as I can until I can't work on it anymore.
Right.
And then if you need to take a break, take a break. Go cook some food or go work out or whatever. Come back, be refreshed, then work again.
Right.
But basically, I would just work all day unless there was something that came up, you know. But you just have to be organized enough to know what you can get done in a certain amount of time, what deadlines you have, you know, how much work you have to finish, like within that deadline, you know. So
what are your deadlines like now? Because you're not doing any more 2-3 day turnarounds.
I'm still way behind. I don't even know if I'll be able to post this video, honestly, because I have so many people. Just because I'm almost caught up now.
So are you is it just you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean I'm the only editor, but I have 5 people that work with me.
That shoot photos and videos.
So one of my best friends, he's a photographer and videographer, but
cool.
He's the only other one that shoots video sometimes.
Okay.
Have you thought about like getting another editor? Because I know you probably like editing the photos and videos. You like them too.
Yeah.
But have you thought about like taking somebody under your wing and showing them everything?
I've tried to, and I need to. I mean, eventually I plan on doing it. I have one guy right now that's I'm gonna try to get him to edit some of them. But I've tried with a couple people in the past, and it just ends up wasting more time and money.
Is that because of like just like the way you are and the way they are, or just you just can't relay? Because I'm assuming you have a certain style and a certain way you like.
Yeah, it has to look like mine.
Yeah,
right.
You know what
right.
I mean? Because people are expecting it to look a certain way.
Right, and it's just that they can't duplicate that or get close to it. Like you're having trouble with that part.
Yeah, it's that, and it's also just. It'd be a lot easier to do it now, but before I gave too many discounts, so it's like I really don't want to pay to have someone edit it. But it would take a load off my shoulders. But I don't think I'll ever have a video editor because it's never gonna look the same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like
it's just the way you portray your emotion through the video.
Yeah.
You get the emotions of like the groom and the bride.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
Because there's a real vision for video. Photography is like, I mean, you can have a vision for it, but it's mainly just what color contrast you're trying to go for, what tones, you know, and same for video with shooting. Like I can have a second shooter photographer, and I can edit it, and it'll look the same. They might take the shot a little different than I do, but video is a constant, you know, moving motion. So it's like they might not capture the same angle or go the same way or go up or down or whatever. And so I can edit it how I would, but it's still not going to be how I actually would.
It won't have your style to it, the movements and all that.
Yeah.
Man.
And then the look of it also, depending on what camera you use, what lens you use.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about that. Because I'm like new into like the photography stuff. It's like something I've always wanted to try to get into. And I'm just doing it as a hobby, you know, just seeing how I can learn and do all that stuff. But so I have that one, that Sony camera right there.
Was it A6000?
No, it's a ZV-E10.
Oh, gotcha.
Just because it wasn't as expensive as the other ones.
Yeah.
But do you shoot mainly with Sony or with Canon?
I do strictly Nikon. I used to shoot with
Nikon.
Sony.
Okay.
But
So is there, because I haven't really looked at this too much, but is there like a huge difference between the camera types, or is it just preference basically?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of it's preference, but there's definitely a lot of difference too. So, I mean, Sony, and I mean a lot of people would agree, is the best for low light.
Okay.
It's honestly, I think it's just a tad bit better than Nikon for video, and you can shoot an S-Log, which is like, I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but it's completely flat. It's like it's basically black and white.
Yeah.
And you can add all the colors to it, but it takes forever.
Oh yeah, because you have to color grade the whole thing.
Yeah.
Man, that's interesting.
But I shoot Nikon because they're really fast, and I do photography and videography, so I don't want to have two different cameras. And I want to have two cameras that are the same and are good at photography and videography.
Right.
I think Nikon beats Sony in photography, but it's just my preference. Because I actually had a Sony A7 III, and it would probably be better for video, just a little bit, and especially in low light situations. But I would just rather have two of the same camera, and I'll just use one for photography, one for videography, and then if I need to put it on a tripod, I can, while I still have my shooting camera. You know.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like stressed about? I mean, you've been doing it for a while, so you know, kind of like the pictures to take for weddings. But do you ever feel stressed on like what angle, or if, because you're kind of just going by how quickly like the groom is moving, or like the bride's moving, or just the whole event is moving. Do you ever feel stressed about getting that good angle before?
I mean, before, yeah.
Yeah.
Not now.
No. You
the only thing that really stressed about now is things you can't control. You know, like you can help them, like guide them with their timeline or how the day is supposed to go. But then you'll have
like family
bridesmaids or moms or people who are like, oh, let's go do this. Or I'm like, and you have to, you know, you don't want to be mean. You know, I never want people to think I'm being mean. That's one thing I have a problem with, because a lot of photographers are bossy. You know, and I can be bossy, but I also want to be compassionate.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, yeah, we can try that in a little bit, but right now we have to stick to this because we only have so much time. Yeah. And then they'll be like, and I'm like, look, I know what I'm doing here, okay? Like I know how much time it's gonna take.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because I know when for his wedding, for a little bit, like there in like that back portion, everyone was kind of pulling you to take pictures of them with them over there, just different stuff.
Well,
like that.
I mean, at that point, it's not a big deal. I mean, everything's already done that we had to get done.
Oh yeah, that's right. Everything was done by then.
Yeah, as long as we got the main parts that we can't redo, like it's totally fine. I'll sit there all day. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
But
But like doing that many weddings, like you said, 2 to 3 in a weekend. That just sounds jam packed.
It's not worth it.
It's wild.
It's yeah, especially because I used to sell unlimited hours videography.
Like for that day.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and people would take advantage of it for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I did it. You know, I sold it like that. So.
Okay.
Which I mean, if I say I sell an 8-hour package and, you know, they run a half hour behind or an hour behind, a lot of photographers would be like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll stay another hour, but it'll be, you know, this much. And honestly, that's what I should do if I was going to be business savvy. But I don't have it in me to be like, nope, 100 more bucks. You want me to be here?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like if I see something good going on as I'm about to leave, I'm not going to just look the other way and leave. Right. You know what I mean? If someone's getting crazy on the dance floor or something, I'm not just going to be like, oh, better put my camera cap back on.
You just have an alarm that goes off and you're like, yep, it's time for me to go.
Time to go, yep. But that's another thing that's filled by passion, you know. But one thing I would say to people for sure that are trying to create their own business or quit their day job or decide whether they want to go to college or not, which I don't have anything against college, but with social media and all the opportunities now, like TikTok, everything, unless you're going to be a lawyer or a doctor or a nurse or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, even IT jobs now. Like, if you can prove what you know, you can get in the door.
Yeah. I mean, I think Harvard, or there's an Ivy League school that has a program for free that you can learn all, like, coding. And I think Andy used it. I can't remember what it's called, but they
Bro, Andy uses ChatGPT.
Dude, Dude, you can learn literally anything on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's all out
for
there.
real.
I'm self-taught.
Off-road? Like
Yeah,
all of it?
everything.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying I haven't learned from photographers once I'm in the field.
Well, right, but you haven't sat down and taken a formal class and then tested out of it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I wouldn't say like going to school for photography or that kind of thing isn't beneficial because there's lighting and color concepts that are hard to actually teach unless you are hands-on and see it. But a lot of stuff is just you have to just jump in and do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing because I like the sports side of photography, and I want to take photos for him whenever he goes to shoot his YouTube videos and just kind of like photograph those moments, right? And literally, I've only ever done like shot twice ever, and I was trying to take this panning photo of him while he was running, like get him nice and still with the background running, and I feel like I knew the concept of how to do it, but I couldn't execute it. So when I look back at the photo, it's just a blurry mess, and I'm like, oh no. Yeah. But it's kind of weird time about where I'm just like, I mean, I've watched videos on it, Yeah. Now I just have to try and error and see what works.
That's the most stressful thing, because there's no do-overs in weddings. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
So that's why it's not a. I don't want to tell people to start out lower than you should as far as price-wise, but it at least gives you some leniency, because if you charge a lot and then you mess up,
that's all.
But that's why it's good to go do just random shoots before you actually like learn everything, because at least you can just be like, hey, I'll give you guys a free shoot. I didn't have my settings right. Like, you guys are kind of blurry, or you guys are kind of, the lighting's not good, whatever.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like right now, I'm leaning on him a lot, and like on family and friends to be like, hey, like, I want to practice. Like, let me get a couple shots. I'll go on a walk with my wife and my daughter, and I'll take my camera. If I see I want to take a picture, I'll snap a picture. Kind of thing. But
I love it because I get free content.
Just wait till I get good, bro.
Start charging me.
That's the best. That's my favorite thing about having friends that are photographers. Like, we just all make content for each other. And it's so fun working together with your friends too. But I mean, if you ever wanted to do it full time, I'm telling you, if you start right now, you'd be full time 6 months.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like, I'm going to college, and I have a bunch of reasons that I'm going. But ultimately, I do want to like escape the 9-to-5 thing. Do my own thing, whether mainly through podcasting. Like, I love podcasting, and then photography is something that maybe if it doesn't even generate that much revenue, but just like a fun thing I do on the side. Yeah. But it's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then another question I had. Because I've looked at a lot of videos, and how much is it skill versus the quality of camera and lens that you have when taking photos?
I'd say it's probably 60 skill, 40 camera.
Camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, videos, it's probably 60-40.
Okay.
Photography, I'd say 70-30 or 80-20 skill versus camera.
Oh, versus the actual camera.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta have a good camera and lens. Obviously, you can't.
Right.
You can tell the difference in the quality and the depth and everything.
Right.
Between a terrible camera and a good camera.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to cuss on here. I didn't know if you guys cuss.
Oh no, you're good. We're
I was gonna say a shitty camera.
Yeah, you're good. We're past the first 5 minutes that YouTube looks at, so you can say whatever you want.
Yeah. But yeah, for sure. Some of it comes down to equipment, but I haven't changed my equipment in 2 years. I mean, as far as camera wise goes, I've had different lenses and I've had different mics, that kind of thing. But you can see a difference just from how it's shot, and because you still have to know how to shoot it. It can be a great like image as far as quality goes, or as far as it goes in video.
Right.
But if you are shaky, or you pan the wrong way, or you do it too fast or whatever, and you can't fix it in post, then
picture ruined.
Yeah. So
yeah. So going back to like when you started, when you made that transition, did you just like one day from the next just jump ship, or did you kind of like have a game plan? It's like, all right, in 3 months from now, I'm gonna like leave my job here and then start my photography.
I had it in the back of my mind for about 4 months.
Okay.
Because I had to.
Got the number.
I had to keep my job. You know what I mean? Because
right.
I had so many bills.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I mean, I wanted to be one of those people who's just like, don't care. I'll figure out how to pay it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm not. I'm not that guy. I mean, I ended up doing that, not on purpose. Like trying to stick it out for the 3 months that I didn't go back. Yeah, once everything was canceled, I didn't go back to day job. I was like, I'm gonna figure something out, and I just went into debt.
It happens.
Maxed out credit cards. I was like, I'm gonna figure this out, and it ended up happening. So it just prolonged the process. I think I would have been full time again in like another 4 months if I would have just went straight back to the day job and started again. But I didn't know what route I was going to take.
Yeah.
Right, especially like at the beginning of that time when everything was up in the air. You know, they said 2 weeks and a month, and then you just didn't know. But
yeah.
Makes sense. Nice. So wedding photography, that's like what obviously like that's what you're passionate about. Is there like different types that you like to do just for fun, like different types of photography?
I like to do. Honestly, I miss the racing aspect. Like my little brother's got a 4-wheeler and a dirt bike, so
nice.
That stuff's fun to shoot.
I have a buddy from high school who does racing photos.
Mm-hmm.
Jack
Ritz. Yeah.
I think he does like RC car racing.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's not RC. RCs are like the
remote controlled.
Well, I think that's where he started off on.
Oh, gotcha.
I know because he was in the
that'd be hard to shoot a tiny car like that. What you gotta do?
Fast as hell too. So.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with him, and I've seen his Facebook post. He started off on RC, but I think he actually does like real racing now. Okay.
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah.
So you, I mean, it sounds like you're really busy with photography. Do you have any hobbies that you do for fun to like get your mind off of it, or like, do you find yourself doing something to ease your mind?
Workout, video games, basketball, hang out with friends.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a loner job, but the cool thing about it is you can edit anywhere. So
that's true.
I can go to coffee shops, or I can go to friends' houses, or like some of my photographer friends. If they're editing, I'll go over there and we'll edit together. But it's hard to get work done if you're together. Honestly, it sounds ideal. You're like, it's gonna be so cool. We'll be like right by each other and we can talk while we're editing. But especially like photography, I can multitask. Video, you cannot multitask at all.
Right.
Plus, you gotta listen to audio, especially if there's like them saying their vows or whatnot. You gotta listen for it. You gotta adjust it. You gotta be like in the zone. Like no one talked to me for like 8 hours.
Has there ever been a moment where you missed a really big like shot that they specifically asked you for?
I don't think a specific shot. No. I always make sure I get, the most important stuff. Like you can't miss it. But I did one time. I don't want this to scare people from hiring me, but
that's why I'm kind of like I don't know what I want to ask.
It wasn't even my fault. I don't know what was going on, but so I always have like 5 batteries in my pocket, and I don't know what was going on with my camera, but it kept saying like I usually would change my battery right before people start walking down the aisle, just because that's like there's a very continuous shot.
Yeah.
And the whole ceremony, like probably about 20-30 minutes, you're not going to stop shooting. Okay. So I don't want to risk my battery almost dying right before.
Ooh, yeah,
so I was like, I'm going to switch it. But it said it had 3 bars, so I was like, it'll be fine. I'll switch it once the bride and groom get up there, because they started walking in way quicker than I thought they were going to.
Okay.
I shot the first like grandparents coming down, and then like the second people. The first groomsman and bridesmaid, it went from 3 to 1 and died. Ooh. And so I'm like, no big deal. I'm like, I'm pretty quick to put my batteries back in. And then my camera said, not compatible with this battery. I said, what?
No.
I literally threw my battery on the ground. I picked up another one, put it in there, not compatible with this battery. What are you talking about?
No.
I've never seen that before in my life. That's one thing you can't control is just like technology.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff, you can foolproof it, But like there's weird things like that'll happen, you know. But that's why I always have one camera on a tripod just in case. You know, it might not be a moving shot, but I won't ever mess up a ceremony like that because I always have it tripoded for a second angle.
Yeah.
So
that's real smart. You have like a fail safe.
Yeah.
That's smart to have. Have you ever had what was I gonna say? Like cameras themselves. Have you ever had an issue where you were taking videos and it ended up having that battery problem?
No. I've had a shutter problem before, where like I go to take a picture, and my shutter's just like click, and it's just delayed for like 3 seconds. I can't take another picture.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's another one I've ran into before. But that's only happened once. I don't know what the deal is because I have like a $300 SD card. Because a lot of times if something like that does happen, it's because your memory card's too slow or it's getting bogged down.
Oh, okay, got it.
Or like the processor, but
yeah,
I have like the fastest memory card you can get. So when it did that, I'm like, what's the deal?
You're
here?
like, what's happening now?
You think it would glitch out in video if it was going to glitch out from having too much processing at once, but yeah, I was just taking a picture and it was like click, and it was just it was just shut. So I turned it off real quick.
3 seconds of your life right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, turn on.
If we have any aspiring videographers or photographers, what advice would you give them as far as like editing softwares to use if they're just starting off, or any advice in general?
I think if I was to answer that question for full potential, I would say it's the same thing as editing in RAW. Don't start with JPEG, just jump right to RAW. Because you're basically just putting training wheels on yourself. Like, so if you're wanting to get serious about it, whether it's going to be a hobby or not, if you want it to be good, just buy a good program. Like, because you might get good at editing on a free one and like you get like the gist of it, but like the controls and the layout and everything is going to be completely different. So like do your research, pick one, and stick with it the whole time instead of like using a free one and then you probably think I'm talking about you.
That's fine.
Start smoke.
No.
Don't be using DaVinci and then decide to switch to something else.
No, because even if I wanted to, the bank says something else right now. So,
yeah.
So I gotta do with what I gotta do with right now.
Yeah.
But
dude, I remember.
I got Photoshop and Lightroom.
Dude, I remember as a kid because you didn't used to. When I was 12 years old, you didn't used to be able to pay a subscription on like Photoshop stuff like that. It was like $1,200.
Holy shit.
So, yeah.
But was that lifetime?
Yeah, it was lifetime. I mean, I would hope so.
I mean, yeah. Well, because now they don't have anything like that. It's all subscription.
Yeah, it's all subscription. Well, Adobe based is all subscription.
Yeah.
But I remember getting Photoshop as a kid. I just like research online. I was in like all kinds of. I was a loner like for a couple periods of my life because I like didn't enjoy my home situation, so I just kind of locked myself in my room.
Okay.
But I remember like being on all these forums and stuff, and I was creating graphics, and I found this like Kraken keygen, and I like made like a code, like a trial code, and then like you can put it in this program and it'll patch it, and then you put it in Photoshop, and it basically just acts like you bought it. So I had Photoshop for like 5 years, like 12.
You fucking hacked it.
Yeah, dude, I was watching Raw and playing Zelda.
I was playing video games a lot too back then, but
yeah, if I had to Google something, I'd have like drinking a Coke and it says, "Oh, Coca-Cola.com." Let me.
I made a YouTube video tutorial on how to edit in Photoshop.
Is that still up?
When I was like 12. It's probably somewhere.
Do you remember what it's called?
I can probably find it. We're not going to show that on here.
Oh, that's cool though.
But back to what you're saying about like what I like to shoot. My favorite part, other than like the like really cinematic shot, I love building stuff up. Like I
the
don't
storytelling aspect of it.
Yeah, like and the the music too.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of people just use songs that have like good beats or whatever. I want to like build the whole thing up, so like they're like, okay, what's coming?
Yeah.
And my favorite thing to do is like surprise people, and then I'll have people record the reactions. And it's like I'd do it for free just from that.
Oh, okay.
Like that part right there is like I don't know if you saw that one I posted on my Facebook the other day. But my favorite thing to do is like have all the cinematic, sappy stuff, the whole time.
And then it gets crazy.
And then I'll start out I'll have a cut, and then like it'll start out as a reception. It starts off really slow. They're like, okay, this is lame. They're like, I love, like I said, I just want to make like the unexpected happen. So
damn, that went hard.
Yeah, dude.
yeah, that's my favorite thing.
Oh, yeah, you turned into a legit music video.
I didn't start doing that until after yours. I feel bad that I didn't do that kind of thing with yours.
We didn't even go that crazy at our wedding, anyways.
Yeah.
Damn,
I don't know, bro. You see me on the dance floor?
Yeah, he was getting it.
Yeah, I try to have fun. I can't dance like that, but I try to have fun.
After I've had a few drinks,
I can't dance for shit.
I'll be out there dancing, shooting.
Yeah, having fun.
Yeah.
Dang, that's awesome, man. It's awesome that you get like the satisfaction of seeing their live reaction to what you created. Because I know that video probably took you a couple hours to do.
Oh, it took me a long time.
Yeah,
that was just that was like a 13-minute film. That was just the last part of it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like having that live reaction from your clients, that's probably like the best thing ever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. Especially because like you said, that video took you a while going from cut to cut to cut. Especially once the song picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That last part probably took me the longest out of the whole video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you had to go like frame by frame.
Yeah. Mashing up to like dubstep or any of that kind of stuff is like.
Yeah.
That's dope though.
Yeah, I love it.
You took the whole wedding experience. You put the emotional stuff in the front. You got all that feel good stuff out, and then it's all right. Let's party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We have. Go ahead, bro. I'll let you finish your thought.
I was gonna say, that was one thing I missed about some of the more like fast action stuff, like when I did racing. Is I was like, how can I still have that fun in weddings?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't do that. They'll have like the reception part and everybody be dancing, but it's not really like made to the song.
No, the whole thing is more. I feel like the mood is a little bit more down. It's more emotional the whole way through.
Yeah.
And it might be like parts where like they're really down, where it's almost like a little boring, and then it brings it back up and you start crying a little bit.
Yeah.
But that one was like, boom, 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 boom.
I try to every time now. I try to have like it all builds up the whole time, like once it gets fast, and then all the people entering the ceremony and the beat drops when the bride and groom come in, just because that's the most important part,
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. All right, what's up with the question?
Yeah, so we have a section of the podcast that we like doing with all of our guests. It's called Your Side of the Internet, or What's Your Algorithm Showing You? Basically, like, because we're all on different sides of the internet, I'm assuming. Yeah. Like, when you're scrolling through Instagram on your For You page, what all do you see?
Mostly funny memes, workout stuff. I haven't been on social media much the past like 6 months, other than business wise. But I mean, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, all these meme accounts now are starting to have porn stars on there.
Yeah, dude. Bro,
I'm like, dude, I'm at Subway.
Yeah, like, what's going on here?
And then there's this midget on the bang bus. I'm like, bro, what's going on?
Yeah, they keep doing that stuff.
What?
I had to unfollow a couple people.
Yeah, I've had to. I unfollow them all the time now because it just pops up. It's not a page that would have that on there normally, but they're marketing so much now because they just have such a huge following.
Right.
And it'll just be like funny porn star.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm with my grandma right now.
Oh, that's wild. You know who Kenny KO is? He's a fitness. Well, I mean, he's jacked, but his thing is he'll go up to people in the gym and ask them if they're natty or not. Mm-hmm. And a while back,
I think I have seen him before.
Yeah, and then I mean, it's funny because he'll go to like a female bodybuilder that's fucking ripped.
Yeah.
And go like, oh, like, are you natty or not? Most of them are like, super transparent. Some of them are like, nah, straight natural.
Defensive.
Yeah, but then I saw one where he asked a porn star. And I was like, wait a minute, how did these worlds collide just now? It was weird. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to follow any page that promotes any of that because I'm just trying to scroll through Instagram, bro. I'm not trying to see any of that.
Yeah, I really shouldn't even. I mean, it brings me enjoyment. I love sending memes to my friends and stuff like that. But, like everyone says, is social media is what you take into it and what you put out of it,
Yeah.
But... Yeah. So sometimes I'm like, man, I need to have more beneficial things I follow on here. But
yeah, man.
My social media release is different than it used to be. I used to go on there and be all about it, but now I'm just like, I'll hop on there for 5 minutes. I want to see something funny, you know. Like, I'm not on there to be serious all the time again.
Mm-hmm. Right, you're just looking for a laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, some entertainment out of it.
I used to, like, I'm sure you guys have been like this too before, but I used to be in a habit where I would, like, scroll on Instagram and then close it out, open it back up, forget I was just on it.
Dude, yeah.
So I hate feeling like that. So I try to get on social media, like, once a day.
Yeah, I just deleted all my social media. Like,
yeah. I did that once.
A month and a half ago. Yeah, so.
Feels good.
It's fine. Yeah.
I can't really do that anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have a whole business on there, you know, that you promote through there and get probably most of your like clients from, you know.
Yeah.
But
I have to set like timeouts for myself because, like you said, I find myself scrolling through Instagram, closing out of it, like literally 2 seconds later, opening it up again. And the iPhone does this thing to where if you do that too fast, Instagram will open up and then just close. Like it like lags out. I'm like, dude, I have a problem.
Yeah. I stopped watching TikTok.
Oh, that one's bad.
Because it's just, and I don't know how true this is. I mean, it makes sense, but people are like, you're not supposed to see what's going on the other side of the world. You're not supposed to see like happy, sad, angry, mad, death, fighting, you know.
Yeah, like somewhere
like
literally.
Overstimulation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's like a rabbit hole that you don't even realize you're going down. Like, I'll be sitting in the bathroom and I'll be like, okay. And then half hour later, I'm like, forgot I was even on TikTok.
Your legs are numb.
Yeah. Can't even get up anymore.
Yeah, it's all just static.
Dude, I remember before high school, some mornings I would take a nap in my truck and then wake up right before the bell and wouldn't be able to walk into school.
Oh, shit.
But I had to try.
Well, yeah.
So I'm literally like I'm like just running as fast as I can in between like railings and stuff so I can grab onto it.
Yeah.
Like I look like I'm crippled.
Yeah.
Like going down the hallway, I'd like stop and sit on a bench for a second and then go to my class.
Whenever you get that static feeling in your legs, do you find it ticklish or hurtful?
Hurtful.
Dude, I think it's so ticklish. I like have to hold myself from laughing.
I feel like there's a ticklish part that comes before it.
Yeah.
Like, it starts to feel staticky, but then it actually goes to sleep. Are you talking about when it's asleep, or are you talking about just the staticky part?
Like when it's asleep and then you get up and it starts.
Yeah, so you know, I'm like, it's almost like a Charlie horse.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah. Where you just
I'm like,
I'm
just wanting it. It doesn't cramp, but it almost feels the same way. You know what I mean? You're just like, I just want it to be over already.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, mine's ticklish, and then it feels like I'm getting stabbed with a bunch of little needles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens to me a lot when I am.
You know what I'm talking about though? When you try to when you first try to put your foot down, when you're trying to stand up, and you just like can't hardly put it down on the ground.
Yeah, with like a lot of pressure on there.
Yeah.
You feel like your knee's about to buckle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that.
So when it comes to the gym stuff, how do you like to train? You just like you do like more bodybuilding stuff, or you just kind of going in there having fun?
I was always really skinny.
And
so I'm always shooting for mass.
Nice.
But I mean, I have high metabolism. I'm tall and I have low blood sugar. So it's like, it takes real work if I'm going to put on mass. So I lose it really quick. I was actually, before my mom died, I was 235, and I'm like 212 now.
Man.
Damn.
So I lose it like really quick, especially when you go from having appetite to no appetite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know when Gabby and I first met you, we met up at it was like a coffee shop or something. Dude, you were jacked as shit. So, like, were you on any gear or anything?
I was on test. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I don't know if it's going on the podcast or not. I don't care. But, I mean, I'm a lifer at this point.
Okay.
I mean, I messed up. See, I'll tell you what happened. Okay.
Okay.
So, I used to run. For one thing, I started way too early. I was a follower when I was, like, 17 or 18.
Okay.
And, like, I just, hung with people that I thought were my friends. And so I started taking it. And I really wasn't even working out. I didn't even know how to work out hardly.
Right.
Shit.
And so I probably messed up a little bit right there. But then I started doing it the right way. I'd come off, I'd take PCT, and I was healthy about it. And then I met my most recent, my last person that I was actually in love with a few years ago. And she'd asked me about it because we were on the conversation. And I told her I've done it before, but I don't plan on doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So I was literally about to come off. And but then we started having sex all the time. And so I'm like, how am I going to come off? Because there's like a 2-week period where you can't really.
Oh, like your libido is just gone.
Like you bounce right back, but it's like week and a half, 2 weeks where sex is not going to be good.
Okay.
So I'm like, how do I come up with, because I can't tell her I'm on my period. That'd be a good excuse for her.
Yeah.
What am I going to say? I don't want to have sex with you for 2 weeks? I'm going to have to like go on vacay or something for 2 weeks so she can't ask me why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Be extremely booked for those 2 weeks.
Yeah. Because I'm not a liar, but I was being halfway truthful because I was going to come off. You know what I mean? Because I was like, yeah, I have done it, but I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And so then I couldn't come back on that and be like, actually, I am on it. You know?
Right.
So I ended up staying on it for like the 2.5 years we were together.
Oh, man.
So I was like, I'm just not going to come off at this point.
And she didn't agree with you taking it?
Well, I mean, in the end, she did. So it didn't really matter. But yeah. So, but I mean, I think I enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes you whoever you are as a person, more of that.
Okay.
You know? Like most people that know me, like they probably haven't seen me mad in their whole lifetime. You know, I'll get mad if you hurt someone I care about. You know, I'm a protector, but I don't even get mad about arguments. Like I'm just very rational.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll just leave. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and have a yelling match.
Yeah, like once you realize it's not going anywhere, you're like, I'm done.
It's just not. It's not worth disturbing your peace. You know.
Yeah. Oh man, I like what you said about disturbing your peace, because my household, even though it's chaotic, just because my wife and I were generally louder people, but it's a very peaceful place in there, and that's how I like to keep it. Where it's just I keep all the bullshit from the outside world out, and it's just me in there.
Yep.
It's nice.
Bro, if you walk into our apartment when Gabby and I are doing our thing, you can hear crickets. It's like, you know Gabby's whisper? I can hear it from all the way over here with the curtain closed.
Dude, that's how my house is. My house is almost too quiet sometimes. People come over to my house and are like, it's really quiet in here. I'm like, yeah, I like it like that. You're like, good. But it kind of, one thing I've kind of noticed is, when you come to people in your life and relationships and people you have to cut off, even if it's family, it sucks. It still sucks even to this day, but you get better at it. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things that's just like, once you really find your like peace and your happiness, like it feels good.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't really feel that bad about doing it because I gave you a lot of chances, and whether we're family or not, or whether we're friends or not, you just bring chaos to my life.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really live your life off of other people's opinions.
Yeah.
That's what I've had to learn the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm off social media.
True. That is what it's off social media.
Yeah.
I've thought about taking a social media break, but I don't think I can do it with all this shit I have to post. Or want to post, not have to post.
Yeah. Well, at that point, you just like unfollow a bunch of the accounts that or you just kind of like mindlessly scroll through.
Yeah.
And just be
because the people I follow now, I actually just watch, like, it's mostly all soccer content, though, because that's usually what I do. Mm-hmm. Well, that is what I do. But, like, mostly the people that I watch do soccer content, like, do free kicks and shit. And I, like, see their content. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, maybe I should try it. Like, put my own twist on it. So, I think the mindless scrolling comes whenever I go on TikTok. Because on there, it's just a bunch of...
Yeah.
Like, right now, what's on my TikTok is freaking Mr. Beast's friend, Chris.
Yeah.
Or Christina now.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So that's all over my TikTok right now. And every time I go on there, before it was all like gaming stuff and like memes, and now it's all that because I watched one of the videos for like 30 seconds and then now TikTok's recommended it to me.
Yeah. Just blasting you with that stuff.
Yeah. So it's just a bunch of controversy with that now, but I'm like, I'm just going to stick to Instagram and not scroll mindlessly to TikTok as much anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can trick myself into watching hours and hours of Shark Tank.
Yeah, bro. Okay, so is that a good thing though, or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing for sure. The first like 2 or 3 or whatever, it's fine because it's cool to see. But after a while, I'm just sitting there like, if that was me, I'd do it this way. But I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna own a soap company. That's not what I'm about.
They have some crazy ideas that come on there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, one of the ones that is most notable right now is they had a company that was called Minus Cow, and they claimed if you ate their bar, it reduced the amount of calories your body absorbed, and it was just like they were getting like basically yelled at by the investors, the sharks, being like, your company is a scam. Like, there's no way you can eat something and give you minus calories.
Yeah.
Or whenever they get people on there promoting like their pyramid scheme. I think those are probably the funnier ones.
Yeah. But
back to what you're saying about, and what we were both saying about like scrolling TikTok and like overstimulating and just constantly having a habit like that. I mean, everything in life is habits, but what we do as people, but especially guys, that I've realized in the last few years when I went to like a mentor group, like retreat thing, is we stay so busy that we don't have time to work on our trauma or our experiences, things we haven't got over, things that are keeping us from real happiness,
Do you think that work is like us actually working on our trauma? Like,
I'm not saying that we're not processing it in our own way and time, but I definitely think it's prolonging it.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Because, because I work the 3 12-hour shifts at the end of every weekend, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. School Monday and Wednesday, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays I have meetings with my team all day, basically about projects we're doing at school, and with the podcast, and then I gotta edit, and then like the baby, like help making sure she's growing fine and all that stuff. So I get it.
Kids change you too. I mean, kids give you so much purpose. More purpose than you can have with anything else in the world.
I mean, just she's 5 months and like 2 days. She'll be 5 months old.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've always had the idea of getting off social media for a while and like just kind of working on myself. But I never actually did it until like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and being present too.
Yeah, it's so much fun, bro. Having a baby. Yeah. I always think I'm like,
it's so much fun having a baby.
Okay, like obviously I didn't birth her, right? But
he's like, it's so
bro,
easy.
It was crazy.
Bro, best 9 months of my life, bro. No, but like, because I've always wanted a baby, and I'm glad I have her now. Because sometimes I think about it, and I'm like, realistically, could I have waited? Yes, but like emotionally, no. Like.
So you're like, I want to find somebody to have a baby with.
Yeah, and I mean,
I didn't expect you to say yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So my wife, we've been dating since high school. She was a freshman, I was a sophomore. But anyway, just back to the whole baby thing. Like, it's fun, and she's giving me a lot of purpose and like actual drive to take the first like baby steps. Cause I consider myself like a big dreamer. I always have all these big ideas, but I can never bring myself to take the first steps to those big ideas until my wife basically had our daughter, and now it's like, all right, those baby steps are coming.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah. But I remember like 4 or 5 years ago, before I started ever working on anything. Just being self-aware is huge. But relationships, for an example, like, the whole, like, it's not you, it's me. I think I need to work on myself. Like, I need to take time. And, which I don't even think they believed that. I think they were just saying that because they wouldn't mess around. But either way, I was like, I don't need time. Like, I'm good. I'm happy. And then, later on, I was like, that's actually probably pretty smart. I was like, I'm actually kind of fucked up.
Hold on, am I part
probably
of the
probably should have started back then.
Yeah. Hey man, better late than never,
Yeah.
So better to realize it now and work on it than be on your deathbed and be like, fuck.
It takes real work.
Yeah.
People don't realize that.
You got to kind of humble yourself a little too.
It's the whole, like, I'm sure you heard it as a kid, like, you got to work to put a smile on, Like, never really was that deep with me, never really resonated with me like that.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, that actually is like really deep.
Just a simple saying like that when you
just
think
a
about
one-liner.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But hey, man, taking those first steps goes a long way in the future.
Well, I'm glad we got you on the podcast, bro. We had, I think, we tried to get you on 2 times, but we just had some scheduling issues. But I'm glad you were able to make it today.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I'm hoping if there's any viewers out there that are wanting to start photography and all that, I'm hoping what you said and recommended helps them and they actually start their journey from this podcast. That'd be pretty dope. And if you did, let us know down in the comments. But we'll also link all of your stuff down in the description, like your Facebook page, your YouTube page, so they can check out all your stuff. So if you want to get wedding booked, get this guy onto you because he's amazing. He did me and Gabby's wedding. We love it. Once again, thank you for that, man. We have the video and everything. I actually have one of the hard drives in here with everything on it.
Heck yeah.
It's the middle of the night, you just plug it in to start watching it.
You just start crying.
I probably watched it more than he has.
Honestly, yeah. But thanks for coming on again.
Yep.
And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.